Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of ezBUCKETz. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video, I got something that I guarantee you guys are going to love, especially if you're a Los Angeles Lakers fan. We're going to be looking into the future and talking about the possibility of the Lakers getting a superstar point guard, the point guard, Chris Paul. The Lakers just re-signed LeBron James and Anthony Davis, which only means one thing. For the next few seasons, they're gonna do whatever they can to win a championship, and if building a super team is literally the only answer nowadays, oh boy, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers go full throttle. For this video, we're gonna be talking about the possibility of how the Lakers have an ultimate secret plan to get CP3. I'm gonna tell you guys how it's possible. So if you're a big Lakers fan, a big Chris Paul fan, and want to see him in the purple and gold, you're gonna love this. But quickly before I get on with the video, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and you love basketball, welcome to ezBUCKETz. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos every single day, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched this video and you loved it, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I'll really appreciate it. It would help out the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, let's talk about Chris Paul to the Lakers.
Experienced team that's been together for a while, and I think we came out tonight with the right energy. That team over there got a lot of vets, guys who've been in a lot of situations. So, I'm proud of how we competed. It's never any moral victories, but I think we can learn a lot from tonight.
During Chris Paul's NBA career, he has been linked to the Lakers so many times that you can barely count anymore. If you guys didn't know this, about 10 years ago in 2012, the closest we got to seeing Chris Paul in the purple and gold was when he almost teamed up with Kobe Bryant, but then the NBA ultimately shut it down. They did not let the trade go through. Ever since that happened, Laker fans everywhere were so upset that they weren't able to see Chris Paul wearing the purple and gold. And season after season, when Chris Paul kept popping up in so many trade rumors, everybody said, Chris Paul to the Lakers, Chris Paul go to LA again. With the Lakers always being one of the more favorited, one of the best teams in the NBA, the Lakers right now are as competitive as ever, and getting Chris Paul would bring them to a whole nother level. And oh boy guys, I'm telling you this, when talking about this summer, this offseason, the CP3 to LA rumors, it's gonna heat up. When talking about this summer, Chris Paul will be entering free agency with a $44 million player option, and from what we're hearing so far, Chris Paul has not said anything about what he plans to do. With Chris Paul being 36 years old, he's entering the final stage of his NBA career. A lot of NBA fans believe the best thing for him to do is opt in and stay with the Suns for one more year. I would say this is the more likely case if Chris Paul's game is declining, but if you guys watch Chris Paul, his game is not getting worse. I feel like he's getting better as he gets older. As of right now, he's leading Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and the Suns to the second seed in the Western Conference. They have a record of 43-18, and from the looks of it, they're gonna end possibly as the first or second seed. And the fact that Chris Paul, who's 36 years old and playing the best basketball of his career, it is honestly not a bad idea for him to opt out of his contract and maybe look somewhere else. When talking about the Lakers this season and their off-season plan, what they have to do is either re-sign Dennis Schroeder or Andre Drummond. And from what we heard so far, the Lakers offered Dennis Schroeder a 4-year, about $90 million contract extension, but Dennis ultimately declined that. From what Dennis is saying, he wants to stay with the Lakers. I think he wants a little bit more money. But if in the summer, Dennis and the Lakers don't agree on a deal, a contract extension, the Lakers have about $90 million on a 4-year term that Chris Paul could potentially be interested in. I know getting paid $44 million for one NBA season is a lot of money, but Chris Paul has to be smart and think about his future. Is he gonna play really good again in this one season, or maybe sign one more long-term deal to get more money overall in a future point of view? If the Lakers don't end up getting Dennis, Chris Paul would be a great alternate, as I 100% believe Chris Paul is better than Dennis. When talking about Chris Paul this season, he's putting up elite numbers once again. He's averaging about 16.1 points, 4.7 rebounds, 8.7 assists, 1.4 steals, shooting a career high of almost 50% at the field goal, and shooting 93% at the free throw. Chris Paul is amazing as ever. We all know last year playing for OKC, Chris Paul led the OKC without Paul George, without Russell Westbrook, to a 7th seed in the West. They actually almost made it to the second round of the playoffs facing the Lakers, but they ultimately lost to James Harden in Game 7. The point that I'm trying to say is that even though Chris Paul is 36 years old, he's supposed to be declining. Whatever team he's on, he's gonna bring them such a big boost, they're a top seed. Just look at the Suns this year. Last year, they didn't even make the playoffs. But look at them now. They're so comfortable. They're one of the best teams in the West. I'm not gonna say Chris Paul is the best offensive player. He's the only reason why the Suns are good. But the leadership Chris Paul brings, the veteran experience, the clutch personality, and more importantly, his selfless game as a floor general, this boosts any NBA team, and the Los Angeles Lakers would love him on board. The Lakers right now are one of the best teams in the NBA when fully healthy, and with the Lakers being built for the postseason over the next few years, Chris Paul, who has 0 NBA championships, has to be interested. What I love the most about the Lakers and LeBron James, Frank Vogel, and Rob Pelinka is they believe it's never too early to start looking at potential offseason targets, and that's what right now, they're possibly looking at the alternative solutions if Dennis doesn't stay. If the Lakers lose Dennis Schroeder, their backcourt needs a lot of help, and Chris Paul, who is the best point guard in this year's NBA free agency, would be the best solution. I believe the Lakers getting Chris Paul would be the ultimate blockbuster move that would simply kind of turn back the clock. It is no secret that Chris Paul and LeBron James have such a strong relationship, but a fun fact to know is throughout their NBA career, they have never been on the same NBA team. But remember this, guys, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And maybe trying to win an NBA championship together is something they're both thinking about. Adding Chris Paul for the next couple of years for the Lakers would help them add more potential to more championships and, of course, take the load off LeBron on those ball handling duties. In my opinion, getting Chris Paul is the ultimate win now move, as the Lakers want to win as many championships as possible while LeBron James is on the roster. Simply imagine this lineup, guys. Chris Paul point guard, KCP shooting guard, LeBron James small forward, Anthony Davis power forward, and maybe re-sign Andre Drummond to a mid-level exception. Maybe that's possible. The Lakers are 100% gonna win the 2022 championship. In my opinion, when talking about this season as I'm making this video, I do still believe the Lakers are title favorites. I believe they're gonna defend their championship, but maybe getting Chris Paul would help them three-peat. But I do want to be realistic, guys. I do believe Chris Paul loves being on the Suns. He loves being a mentor to Devin Booker, who is a future superstar in the NBA. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Paul ultimately opts in, stays one more season for a $44 million contract. But honestly, going to the Lakers, it wouldn't be a bad idea as well. The Lakers would be better with him. The NBA offseason is one of my favorite times during an NBA season, and I can't wait to see what Chris Paul does, because whatever he decides, it's simply an earthquake in the NBA. But if we get that news, he goes to join LeBron and AD, Laker fans everywhere, you guys are going to be cheering out loud. But I do want to put out one more destination that I believe would be great for Chris Paul if he wants to win a championship. I would love to see Chris Paul going back to LAC, Los Angeles Clippers. We all know Chris Paul played the majority of his best NBA seasons with Blake Griffin, with DeAndre Jordan on those Lob City days, and I believe going back there now with Kawhi Leonard, with Paul George there, maybe Serge Ibaka will stay. It's not a bad idea. I do believe the Suns are a great team, they're a true contender, but I still don't believe they have what it takes to win the entire championship. And with the Clippers already having championship players like Serge and of course Kawhi, Chris Paul might be more interested in the Clippers than the Suns. The only difference I believe the Clippers have over the Lakers is, for one, Chris Paul used to play there, and number two, the Clippers have a little bit more money. The Lakers might be able to offer Chris Paul maybe $22 million a year, but the Clippers actually might have about 25 to 30. If Chris Paul wants money and a winning situation, the Clippers wouldn't be a bad idea as well. As a Laker fan, I want to see him with LeBron and AD, but Kawhi and PG is not a bad idea as well. They're going to also jump into championship contention. But yeah, guys, this wraps up my video for today, talking about Chris Paul to the Lakers and talking about how it can happen. What's most important to me is one of your thoughts. What do you guys believe Chris Paul will do when it comes to his offseason? Will he stay with the Suns or will he go to another team? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on ezBUCKETz. Woo!
I got angels flying all around.